So what is Agenda 21? Well, Agenda 21 is a document that outlines the implementation of sustainable development, which is a comprehensive plan for the restructure of society and the remake of man. After nearly 20 years of implementation, I can report that sustainable development policy is now pursued in every county in this country. Agenda 21 is a comprehensive plan of action to be taken globally, nationally, and locally by organizations of the United Nations system, governments, and major groups in every area in which human impacts on the environment. Well, this comes straight from the United Nations and their webpage. Imagine any activity that wouldn't fit that definition. In other words, this is truly intended as a comprehensive plan. The Commission on Sustainable Development was created in December of 1992 to ensure effective follow-up of UNCED, to monitor and report on implementation of the agreements at the local, national, regional, and international levels. Agenda 21, Sustainable Development, is the modern battlefield over future political economics and more. Despite its appearance as an environmental movement, Agenda 21 incorporates decades of UN world governance policies. Agenda 21 was written for and disseminated at the Rio de Janeiro UN Earth Summit in 1992. 178 nations signed on, including George Bush the father, signing on behalf of the United States. The last 4 presidents, 2 Democrats and 2 Republicans, have made implementation of Agenda 21 the quiet cornerstones of their administrations. The Department of State reports to the UN our progress at implementation. You will find at the freedomadvocates.org Research Center the 2002 State Department report, which is pictured on the screen, demonstrating the American implementation of Agenda 21. The report is entitled Johannesburg Summit 2002, United States Profile. This was a follow-up to the 1992 conference. This document, which I've pictured, outlines just how it is that we are implementing and achieving the objectives of Agenda 21. Agenda 21, Sustainable Development, is the action plan for the implementation of a controlled society. The plan is not conjecture. There is nothing theoretical about this dynamic. It is laid out in 3 documents. This is the global plan, the Earth Summit Agenda 21. This is the document that was produced at the Rio Conference. Along with that is the local Agenda 21 planning guide. This is how they take the globalist program outlined in the Orange Book and put it into a local action program that can be implemented in any city in the world. And in fact, that's exactly what's going on. This is my county's Agenda 21 program. We were an early prototype candidate for the implementation of Agenda 21. This document was created in 1995 in Santa Cruz County, called simply Santa Cruz County Local Agenda 21. Now, Agenda 21 describes itself as a comprehensive plan of action. Only a few communities have titled their plans, like Santa Cruz, Agenda 21. But every county in America has adopted a comprehensive plan that is dominated by sustainable policy mandates. Discover your county's plan or plans. Anticipate sweet-sounding titles like Vision or 2020 or Greenworks, etc. To know Agenda 21 is to know the political economic program that is the pathway that America and all of the world is on. To not know Agenda 21 means we will become slaves to it. The second document that makes up Agenda 21 is the UN's Global Biodiversity Assessment Report. This document is 1,150 pages, was also produced at the 1992 Rio Earth Summit. This book is the guidebook for the Worldwide Environmental Action Program. To save our environment, this official document calls for a reduction in human population to an industrialized population of 1 billion people worldwide. That's an 85% reduction in today's human population level. But they give an alternative. According to the Global Biodiversity Assessment Report, a population comprised of peasants, that's their word, not mine, may be designed that would allow 4 to 5 billion people. The third document that makes up the Agenda 21 program is the short Bible called the Earth Charter. It was authored by Stephen Rockefeller, son of Nelson Rockefeller, Maurice Strong, who was Secretary General at the UN's Earth Summit Conference, and the Russian dictator Mikhail Gorbachev. The Earth Charter is taught in most American schools. Each of the authors has proclaimed that the Earth Charter is to replace the Ten Commandments. You suppose these three characters climbed a mountain and had the Earth Charter delivered to them by God? Centralization of power and proclamation of authority is known to be a scary proposition. When power sufficiently ferments and foments during its centralization process, surviving humans are turned into drones. To help you recognize infiltration of sustainable policies, I'm going to share a Freedom Advocate's tool for showing the warm and fuzzy terms that arise regularly. These terms reveal Agenda 21 operating in your neighborhood. Take a moment and just review these terms and either recognize them or plant them in your mind, because when you see them, it's the trigger. Okay, I'll read some of these. Environment, new economy, equity, consensus, affordable housing, friends of, we've got friends of this creek and that creek in Santa Cruz. You've got friends of Washington. I mean, that's a classic Agenda 21 terminology. Action. Action's a euphemism for A is Agenda 21, C is community, teamwork, in operation now. That's what action means. When you see action groups, that's what they're intending. Protect and preserve, quality of life, sanctuary, social justice, watershed. Get a lot of watershed talk in Washington. Facilitator, best management practices. Department of Ecology certainly uses that term a lot. Outcome-based education, endangered species restoration, common good. Term I'll talk about later in this speech to a fair extent. Regional, very dangerous. Collaborative, stakeholder. International Baccalaureate, if you've got that in your schools, watch out. Historic preservation. Vision, another term we'll talk about later. Sustainable medicine. These are typical Agenda 21 terms that have been appearing for a decade now. They're all over every community, and when you see these terms being used, your concern ought to rise, because the people using these terms are usually the mindless proponents of Agenda 21. You see, Agenda 21 rarely calls itself by that name. Instead, these warm and fuzzy terms are used.